this week I listened to
and I by proxy heard many clips of Scheana Shay's book.
My Good Side, guys. A memoir by Scheana Shay. Now the whole way that this came out was she's writing this book, but then they let this thirsty bitch lets out the chapter that or the excerpt about Brock announcing that he had a full-on affair while she was pregnant. Now, something I've come to find out because I've listened to the book twice and I've listened to every podcast discussing the book, Celebrity Memoir Book Club, and anyway, the book got released to like content creators early, but they left out that entire chapter. The Brock chapter, which is like the last chapter, is redacted.
So she could reveal it?
Yeah, so they like held that even before they like put that out. They like held, so the whole thing is so thirsty. And then the whole last chapter is just her trying to convince all of us that it's cool. That's cool that you stayed with them. Sounds like you have a good relationship.
Be surprised here. Like make sure you're sitting down. Make sure you don't prepare your face, but Scheana makes Scandival all about her. It was the hardest time in her life. She had to make sure that she could be the mother that Summer Moon needed for her to be.
She made the Raquel. I took some notes, by the way, John, so I can kind of just like do some jot notes here. But
thank God.
The part where I really would recommend listening to it. It's so funny. I will listen to this book all the time. It's also free on Spotify.
Insufferable to listen to, and this comes from someone
she does pretty well at reading it, I must say, and it's juicy, but so like kind of pathetic, I guess would be like the main word. But as we were talking about how Carrie Bradshaw centers her life around men, Scheana Shay is on a whole other level of the entire book. It's fascinating, honestly.
Now,
you just sit down and see how much she's
Did she talk at all about her childhood? Because does she have daddy issues?
So here's what happened with her family situation, because she uses this as a way to spin the Brock thing. First line of the book is, if you know anything about me, I am not a follower. But then most of the book is her explaining, well, I'm just a people pleaser. So I did it. Lisa asked me to do this. And in retrospect, she probably knew that I knew Brandy, or that I was having the affair with Eddie. But I'm a people pleaser. I'm such a people pleaser. So that's the whole book is that. But her childhood, her mom, young mom, was dating two men at the same time. The dad, and I think she was having an affair. Dad, the way that Scheana tells it, or the way her mom told her, is that her dad's a huge deadbeat. He left. Then her mom decided to go with this boyfriend, Scheana's stepdad, but he never actually moved in with them. So it was great, though, because I had my dad, and then I had this like great bonus dad. So the way she uses that to spin later, well, it's good because Brock, he's like the great dad, but then like his kids have this other great bonus dad, and I had that. So this is actually great for his kids. That's like how
Brock's kids don't have him though at all.
But she's saying that it's okay that Brock is no contact with them because they have this opportunity to have this other great dad spreading.
I don't want to do any like therapizing here, but like I wonder if any of that contributes to her needing to center her life around the pleasing and appeasing and approval of
all men. Always men. So her stepdad is basically Brock. The first major event in this book is that Hooters. Did you know about this Hooters scandal that she was part of? Okay, no. So it was a while. She works at this Hooters, maybe in LA somewhere. She was born in Azusa, right? So somewhere there, works at a Hooters, and the manager of that Hooters got in trouble, and there was this big court case, like this big indictment, is that what it's called, where he was like filming all these girls and like taking pictures of them without them knowing. I know you love that. So it was this huge case about him like
sexual. She was in it.
She was one of the women. Now, it does not seem like this bothered her in any way, but she took this as an opportunity to be the face of this indictment. So the whole thing is her being like, I got to meet Gloria Steinem. Gloria Steinem, is that right? Or Gloria Allred, whoever the lawyer is.
Gloria Allred is the lawyer.
Okay, so she's like, it's great because I got to be the face of this huge scandal, and it was great because I could give a face and a voice to people who were too scared to come out. But I like she took it as like, I'm a hero of the Hooters story. Because and she said at one point in that chapter, if I can help just one person, then it's all worth it. Okay? So there's that scandal.
And you want me to listen to this?
It's so funny, Ron. Like you will like the TikToks you've been watching. It's just a girl listening to it and then her reacting. And half the time she's just going, Scheana. That is how the whole book is she's saying something and you're like, Scheana, no. Next part we kind of move on to meeting Eddie. She works at a cigar bar. She meets Eddie. I don't know, he's just like a guy, like I'm like super busy. I had my acting career and I was the Jonas Brothers and I'm too busy to be Googling every single guy that I meet at the cigar club. So, and I'm kind of also justifying, like, I was also dating John Mayer. She didn't
have time to, though, Google him in the time when he bought her gifts and told her he loved her. Like, you didn't have, maybe the first night that you met him, you didn't know, but you didn't. Okay.
Well, as Ben Mandelker was on another podcast talking about the book, and he made a good point that Scheana prefers to live her life with blinders on, which I can relate to that. Like, I get it. Like, you don't want to pull back that layer, right? You don't want to pull the thread and start the ball rolling. So I think she's just happy to wander through life and be like, I don't know. Yeah, it sounds good. Because throughout all of the stuff with
But you don't think she reads the comments and all that?
She definitely reads the comments, but she says several times, especially in her shit with Shay and Eddie, when Shay was in his addiction and he was cheating on her with multiple people, and then all the stuff with Eddie, is that when she would confront these men, they would say, no, that's not true. And she would go, okay, I'll believe you. Also with Brock. I chose to believe him because he's my man and I'm ride or die for my man, my man, my man. So that's like, she spends a lot of time justifying that. The whole book is her justifying herself to us. So she's saying, well, they told me that, so I just believed them. What was I supposed to do? She really underplays the Eddie thing. They were never really exclusive, and I was seeing John Mayer after all. John Mayer ends up breaking up with her.
If they weren't all that exclusive, you took the opportunity to, in your meeting with his wife that he cheated on you, or on
with you.
God. Brain power there. You cried and said that he told you he loved you and like whatever. So it wasn't that big of a deal.
Not to her, but then she was with John Mayer and she did an interview, or she let it slip or sold the story to like TMZ that they were together, and he immediately broke up with her. Because he's a very private person, John Mayer. So the whole thing happens with Brandy, and then she's like, really talks a lot about Lisa Vanderpump and how Lisa is just a full a puppet master, all this shit. Scheana gets demoted twice from Vanderpump, which means she's still in the opening credits. So that's really all that matters. But like, it's really just a pay cut, and it's like she's been reduced to friend of, but no one knows that. It's not like she's introduced as a friend of Ariana. Everyone in America and the viewers still think she's on the show. The only thing that happens just it's pay cut.
Wait,
now you're getting paid per episode.
What season which season?
I think the season where everyone came with the new people, with Max and who's the other guy she was in love with during that season? Max and someone. It was the bartender.
Yeah.
Is it like Blair or something like that?
No. He was in her music video. I can't remember.
Oh my God, that's right. And then he's like, "You raped me," right?
Well, I mean, she basically like does jump, like she's on top of him, grinding.
Yeah, while I'm down here, I might as well just suck your dick.
Like, Jesus.
I was just kidding when I said that, though. Anyway, so that season, and then the season where her and Brock get engaged, she was demoted for that. And then they agreed to have their wedding filmed, but Brock didn't get paid for any of that shit. And they all hated Brock. They didn't want to film with Brock, but she still took the pay cut. And they agreed to have their wedding filmed because that means that she'd be in the episodes, and she was getting paid per episode instead of per season like the rest of the cast.
That was like one of the last seasons.
Yeah, but then I think they were playing around.
They were playing they were playing her.
Which
the show started around Scheana, like, and as annoying as she is, you do kind of need her.
That's the thing, but she is, and I don't think it's so
not
much
on the Valley.
Not on the Valley. Get her off the Valley. I don't think it's so much being a people pleaser as just her being really easy to manipulate, and just she's a
puppet. She will do whatever the producers ask her to do, like, but then now she's coming out saying, "Oh, they've manipulated me." Well,
so she also talked about like, but she's also great. Like she was produced, like she knew what she was doing as a reality star. She was very good at her job. She would show up, do the job. She was always creating drama. She'd
get on a bar. She'd sing Good as Gold. She'd get on the bar.
Right. She doesn't talk about the singing career at all, other than mention at the very end, kind of in passing, that she signed all the rights away to that song, so she doesn't make any residuals for it. Another smart business move by Scheana. But she talks about the fake finale, about how they made up that whole situation with the Brock proposing to, or Brock and her maybe sneaking away and getting married. And that was all fake for the show. But then it comes to find out it wasn't actually fake. Just the fight was fake. But they still did have an intention to do that. Just to do that wedding at Raquel and James's engagement party. But then the plan was that, and that was producer planted, I guess, the fight. And then Katie was the one that was supposed to reveal it. But then Katie was too drunk. So then Lala had to do his whole thing. There's a whole section where she's a lesbian. She has this like best friend. And they were like in love with each other, but then she meets Brock, and then Brock's like, no, because she kisses her in front of him, and he's like, you can't be around that woman anymore if you're gonna get me in your life.
Really?
So she like breaks it off with this woman who this could have been like the actual love of her life, but I think she's too scared to be a public lesbian, so she kind of brushes over that. Brock, I'm just trying to. She really explains a lot about Rob and Max and the other guy, and really downplays that. Like, they didn't film all the stuff, but they were into me. Like they were into me. They were more into me than you think they were. It was real. It was definitely real. Like, we watched that.
She says that on there. Why not just come out and be like, it was a show? Like,
it was, or just own it and be like, that was so embarrassing to watch.
Oh, well, she still wants to be on the Valley. I don't think she can fully come out and say like it's not real and whatever. But
it was real. They hated her. Like, they weren't. What she's saying is that no, it looked like they weren't into me, but they really were into me. Like, we were dating. We were dating. It just, they manipulated it, and like they just didn't want to be on the show. She told Rob she would quit the show for him, and he was like, no, don't do that. And then she doubles down on the story about, here's the thing, guys, Rob doesn't even like to kiss. Like, we don't even make out. So like, there's no way he was like, she's doubling down on that. Like, Scheana. I'll end this with just telling you these fun 3 things here. Me and Brock, when we got into our relationship, it all started off with 3 lies. But don't worry, guys. Wait till you hear it. They're all good lies. I'm like, by the way, the lies, she fails to mention the domestic violence.
Let me take a wild guess. Here are the lies. I beat up my old woman. I abandoned my children. I'm not allowed back in Australia, love.
I owe $50,000.
Or else I'll be sent to prison. They'll arrest me immediately at the airport.
These are the 3 lies that she thinks that we're going to be like, aww. First was how he lost his finger, and he's just really self-conscious about it. But he lost it in like a farming accident, but he tells people he lost it because a crocodile bit it off. And she believed that, but it turns out it was actually some farm equipment. And I don't even really believe that it was farm equipment. I feel like it was something else more nefarious than that, right? That's one lie. Another lie was that they met somewhere, but then she said, oh, I'm going to this festival next weekend. And he said, oh, I have tickets to that too. Little did I know that After that night, he went and bought last minute tickets from a scalper. He didn't have plans on seeing that. He just wanted to see me. Swoon.
Scheana, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, love. Brock is using you for fame. He saw you and thought, oh man, she won't give a crap if I beat up my old wife and abandon my children. She's dumb and she has money, I guess. Let me go find her. That's you guys like my Australian accent.
Here's the last one.
I'm scared.
Her, one guy that she was fucking at some point, his name was Colin.
This was the third lie.
But like, I have to kind of rewind it to show this. There's this guy that she was sleeping with named Colin, and he ends up committing suicide. And it was like the day after he called her at night, and he was like maybe drunk, and he was like, oh, I love you. And she was like, no, I don't want to talk to you. So of course she makes that about herself.
Wait, what the fuck?
But
she says that she's the reason that he did it.
Kind of I think she likes to think that he did that for her. But you can listen to it and see comment. But that is how kind of she spins that. But every year,
you waited to bury that in the 3 lies.
She does this though, because she spends a lot of time focused on like name dropping celebrities that she knows, like Tyler Perry tipping her really well. Even though I accidentally gave him rock shrimp, but I was like really sick. I had a fever, and Pandora made me come in. That's what she spends time on, and not things like I was a lesbian. This guy killed himself. Doesn't really spend a lot of time on that.
Wow.
But every year on that guy's birthday or something, she does a shot of Jameson at midnight because they used to drink Jameson together. So she had told Brock this. Then the first night that they fucked, it was that guy's birthday. And then this was the other lie, is they fucked. And he's like, oh, darling, I'm going to go to the kitchen and get you some water. And then he comes back in and it's actually a shot of Jameson. And he had remembered that she likes to take a shot of Jameson. So that was the other lie. Isn't that so romantic? It's so sweet.
How was that a lie?
Because the lie was, I'm going to get water. And then he came back with a Jameson.
Okay. I think what's happening here is that Scheana is mixing up where to place the word lie in the sentence, because I'm pretty sure all 3 of those things were lies. I think Sheena's the one lying about any of this ever happening. There is no damn way that Brock, who cheated on you, had a whole relationship while you were pregnant because he couldn't, wait to put his short chody dick, which you guys have said yourselves, inside another woman, because I get whatever.
She's pregnant after a miscarriage.
He was he remembered you so well that the first night that he knew that first night you had sex was the night that was your ex-boyfriend's birthday. See,
I think I think some people could spin that too. That is sweet that he remembered that. But me, my jaded bitch self, sees that as no, he took that piece of information when you told it to him, locked it away in his brain for when he can use that later.
Well, why don't you make your lies like a little less complex, Scheana? That is one sign of lying, is when you add too many details. Scheana, honey, that's not happening. So I am done with Sheena's book. And I understand Amanda wants me to listen to it because she thinks I'll think it's funny.
I think you'd get a real kick out of it. You really would.
I would listen to it while I'm driving and then likely want to crash my car into a wall. So
it's only 200 pages. Like it's like a 4-hour listen. Like if you just kind of have it on in the background while you're cleaning your house one day,
I really in silence. So guys,
all right, that's it though.
Hit subscribe, hit like, hit share, all of that. And that's it. We love you guys over here at Pod in the City. It's Amanda and Joan. If you want to, you can check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/Pod in the City. Over there, it's $6 a month. We do extra episodes, ad-free, uncut, baby. Get that whole meat out there. I don't know what the hell I'm I'm talking about.
And then check out our live stream on
streams.
Friday, our very last, and just like that live stream, because the series finale is happening, even though they didn't really know that. But that
2 p.m. EST. Now, this is not our final live stream on Friday. We are live streaming every Friday at 2 p.m. EST, and we'll see you there. We love you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye.